let's start from last week, where we talked about the research we have been conducting about a specific consensus for sidechains use cases that need super high transaction throughput. And we are talking about 1,000 transactions per second. So, as you remember, we conducted the workshop, and then in the last days, we moved on by working on a design document that follows what we discussed in the workshop. And the next iteration will be a session to go through the document, to be able to finalize it, and then schedule the development activities. So, for what regards Zendoo, we are continuing working on several documents for the technical specification for our partners in order to have them upgrade their integration with us. As mentioned last week, the guide for mining pools has been finalized and also shared. So now we're waiting for their feedback. And for what regards the other two guides, and I mean the guide for the exchanges and also the partners that are using our Explorer, we are currently finalizing them, and we're going to share everything in the next few days. And here we are talking about the technical specifications that are needed for upgrading Zendoo for this part. So let's move on with the zk audit chain, where last week we finished working on the circuit implementation for the next and last milestone, internally called milestone 3. The unit tests for the circuit were also completed there. Okay, lastly, for what regards the next delivery, on the SDKA side, we have started the review of the design of the state restructuring, and these changes are, for example, needed to collect all the information that are needed to allow the generation of a state transition proof in a modular way when validating the block transactions. I mean, for this part is needed because in the new SDK version, you will need to generate a proof for every transaction. And these proofs are, let me say, somehow connected to the current state of the blockchain. And considering also that the kind of transaction can be customized, in the design of the SDK, we want to provide a modular way for adding, let me say, the specific part that will generate the specific data that is needed for generating the specific proof for a state transition. In such a way, the developer will focus only on the specific components that are needed, and there will be an orchestrator that will be able to, call these components and collect the information and then generate the proof. So currently, we are in the design phase of this part of the changes, and we are moving on with the review of the document that is describing these changes. And one part of the design is also connected to these are the changes that we are also applying to the storage of the state, where we are conducting another design analysis, because we will, as I mentioned probably in the last Weekly Insider, we will have a way for storing the state in a more atomic way. And so by applying the transitions and then committing them all at once, also for, let me say, having faster recovery if the node crashes in the middle of applying the state and so on. So this is another important part of the SDKA that we are currently working on. Okay, now let's go on with the proving system, where we completed the second round of review on the implementation of the endomorphism, and we call the endomul gadget. And a few other changes were requested, so we're addressing them, and next step will be final code review. Always on the proving system side, we started the implementation for the refactoring of the Marlin repository, and is currently going on. Finally, on the circuit side, we are continuing working on the main chain block reference circuit, and so the implementation of it is currently ongoing. And I think that's all. Maybe Luca has something to add here.
Yeah, just wanted to say before we move on that here in the office today, we have one of the Zen legends, Gustavo. Want to say something?
Hey guys, just want to say hello to the community and just a little backstory. The last time I was here, it was still pre-COVID in our old office, and after 1.5 years, and you guys, you know how hard this been last 2 years has been, and it's incredible how much the team has grown this past year and how much the work they are tackling now. So definitely exciting times ahead, and I'm happy to be here.
Glad to have you here, Gustavo.